Dev Update 1. Okay, they're going to do more of these. We would like to welcome you to our first dev update focusing on bringing you regular insights from our developers as we continue to support Star Wars Outlaws past its launch. Good on Ubisoft, of course, as always, for not like being, okay, this was a miss. They really want to make this game work, and I hope that they are talking about some actual... I want, and I think it's gonna happen, let's pick up a rifle and actually be able to keep it. Like maybe give Kay a sort of a belt where she can put it on her back or on her speeder, something like that. I think they have to make big changes like that to really make the gameplay more exciting. Let's see what they are saying here. Reflection on launch. We've been listening to, gathering, and actioning playing feedback, and we see there are key areas where we can elevate the game experience to better meet your expectations. As you've seen with our previous title updates, we already made changes to the game and look forward to continuing to improve the experience over time. We would like to reinforce that our priority is giving you the best Star Wars experience possible. Okay, so we got Drew Ragnar now, who recently taken the helm of Star Wars as a creative director. I hope I probably butchered that name, but this is interesting because what is basically happening, and I'm gonna make my thing a bit smaller like this. So basically what they're saying here is, of course, we know Julian was the creative director on the game before, but even a year ago he already announced, I'm gonna move to Division 3 after Star Wars Outlaws has shipped. They probably thought Star Wars Outlaws is gonna go over well, we will do our post-launch support as always, but we don't have to be as hands-on as they are doing now. That they have, I'm not sure if that ever happens. That you're the creative director on a game that is already out. Unless it's like a live service game. But this guy is not... That's crazy, to be a creative director coming in after launch to kind of, focus on improving it. It does show you again that they want to make this work. So let's continue. I'm very excited to be stepping into the role of creative director on Star Wars Outlaws and to be working with the incredibly passionate team here at Massive Entertainment, along with our talented co-development studios around the world and Lucasfilm Games. I would like to personally thank you, our community, for your positive response to the game. We see and love all the fan arts, comments, and videos you've created around the game, and it continues to provide us joy and inspiration to the team. We truly hope you're enjoying your journey across the Outer Rim and Kay and Nix thus far. I also want to take the time to say that we hear not only your positive feedback, but your constructive feedback as well. Thank you for sharing that with us, helping us make the game even better. Today I want to share with you the next priority areas that we're looking to address to ensure that Star Wars Outlaws is the best experience possible for you. Okay, give us the meat. From launch and continue into the post-launch, we've been gathering data, listening to you. This takes place not only formally through our analytics, user tests, reviews, and media feedback, our Star Wars Outlaws bug reporter, crash reports, and other mechanisms, but also informally when we see your YouTube videos and Reddit, Discord, and other social media posts. We deeply care about your experience with the game and use all the data and feedback possible to see the friction points you are encountering, what you are enjoying, and where we can further improve certain elements that matter the most to you. I mean, that's always a thing. These developers obviously know everything. They look at everything. So that is sometimes kind of cool to know. Sometimes you put a video out there and you're like, I'm making this for you, the viewer. But it's cool that the feedback can reach Ubisoft as well. And that also means that if you post a comment or whatever under a video from someone, Ubisoft is probably gonna read that because it seems like they really want to make this work. Okay, your feedback has already resulted in 3 title updates in which we focused on fixing some of your biggest concerns, such as bugs, reducing major friction points in some key missions, particularly around stealth, adjusting the speeder camera, collision, and much more. That being said, there are 3 areas in which we're looking to improve the game even further. Okay, finally. The first key area of improvement to the game is combat, where we see a real opportunity to add more depth and excitement to the experience, further rewarding your tactic and precision. Finally, okay, our second key area is stealth, which is not only about improving the readability and consistency of the enemy detection, but also providing choice in how you want to approach each encounter. Okay, I'm curious how they're gonna do that. Like multiple ways. I mean, you already have multiple ways to enter a location. Maybe they talk about some specific things. Finally, our third key area of focus is centered around the character controls, which means improving the reliability of cover, increasing the responsiveness of climbing and crouching, and generally improving the consistency of the controls overall. We can expect to see more details about how we will be celebrating and embracing player choice more than ever before, whether it's sneaking through encounters, going in, blasters blazing, or everything in between. Oh wow. We will provide more specific details about the changes in these areas and more in the upcoming weeks as we provide further updates to you. All of this will accumulate in the release of Title Update 1.4, which will release on November 21st alongside the Steam launch and the first story pack, Wildcard. To our players, thank you, blah blah blah. And as said, we're working hard on much requested features, which will be our biggest update yet, coming your way. Okay, they are not giving any specifics, but let me know what you want. Hey, King Assassin Tony, appreciate you for joining. I feel like the contracts need to be. I feel like contracts need to be done better with developers and designers in registers, etc. Do you mean like the communication between developers and the player? Give K force powers, says them, joking. I mean, that would be one way to make it more exciting, I guess. Hey Larry, thanks for joining. Fallen Order 1 and 2 were so good, did 100% on both. I do think we're kind of hitting on an interesting point though with them saying give K force powers. Of course, that's not gonna happen, but I do think that they really approached this game maybe not in the best way. Like, I think they really thought, okay, let's make a really immersive Star Wars world, and I think they did. I mean, if you played the game, you know, especially compared to other Ubisoft games, the urban environments are awesome. Like, there are many people on the street, they are all doing kind of their own thing. The areas look very stunning in terms of graphics. It's like, I'm excited to know, okay, I have multiple planets to go to, I've not been to this planet yet, let's see, and then going there for the first time, and being actually impressed by some of the things you're seeing. Like, I think for example, Valhalla, they, of course, the moment Assassin's Creed went from we have one big city to we have a huge open world like England in Valhalla, that moment, the cities themselves, like London in Valhalla, yeah, it wasn't that exciting, right? It wasn't amazing or anything. And I still think that Outlaws, while having multiple open zones around these cities, the cities themselves are still pretty cool. So I think they totally nailed that, but they kind of forgot to make an exciting gameplay loop around it. And let me know if you know a game where you're actually this. And I see people say, I saw someone say, Plague Tale needs next gen improvements. We were of course talking about PS5 Pro before this, and I think that's maybe a good game where you as the main character are not like super OP. I've not like played through the second game all the way to the end, but of course the first game is really about, okay, I've like a few tools and I'm gonna make it work, and that is pretty satisfying to complete that. But overall, I think like you also want to be a character that can actually do awesome things, because yeah, you're playing a game, you want to feel kind of powerful, and in Outlaws it feels like you're just not, K is just not very capable, and I don't know, it feels actually like worse than if I, and this maybe sounds crazy, but if you as a real person would be in that Star Wars world as K, you would be able to do more things than K is doing in that game. Like, I would not drop this freaking blaster when I climb a ladder. K does. Every time I go on a speeder, K's like, oh, this amazing sniper, I don't need it anymore, whoop. Or, hey, I'm talking to this person, boom, drop the weapon on the ground. There are many things like that. Or on a speeder, brrr, okay, I cannot use my weapon on a speeder. I can only do the sort of dead eye move where I attack enemies. It feels like they are limiting you as a player in so many ways in this game, which is just not very exciting. again, this sounds weird, but if I was on that speeder, I would be boom, boom, shooting everyone. Yeah, it really feels like they had this idea for this player character, and yeah, they're limiting and your own sort of thoughts. Like, that was the first thing I did when I jumped into the game. I was like, oh, I want to steal someone else's speeder. Oh, I'm trying to kill this like, sure, lovely creature, but hey, I'm an outlaw. I'm gonna try there were many restrictions, and like, that's cool about Fallen Order and Survivor. You are Cal, and like, you feel super powerful, and I really think that like, if your character doesn't have a sort of cool thing that you cannot do maybe in real life, or just that you're like not really capable, it kind of hurts the overall experience. And yeah, I think that could have helped this game a lot if Kay was actually, maybe it doesn't fit her character, but maybe they should not have made a Han Solo type game then. I don't know. Maybe people don't agree. Maybe a jetpack then. Like, I really think, and you're right here, Chris, maybe a jetpack or jet shoes, that would be insane, right? That would already be, okay, I don't have to find a ladder to climb this Imperial base. I can just whoosh and pew pew from the air. It's so wild to me, and I'm really curious if this was because Respawn was working on a Mandalorian game. We know they sadly canceled it. That Lucasfilm was like, or LucasArts like, we already have a Mandalorian game in development. You cannot do that. Because I think if Ubisoft made an open, like, if they basically made the same game, but you were playing a Mandalorian, obviously they had to tweak some things, but if they made the same worlds, but you were actually this Mandalorian who could, like, use a jetpack and had, like, cool weapons, and I think this game would have done way better than this. Like, I always said it, that it felt always weird that Ubisoft had to sell you on this game, while the elevator pitch, open world Star Wars game should be enough. Everyone should then be like, sure, I'm on board. Give it to me. But they made so many bad decisions, I think, that they made it so hard for themselves. And yeah. A Mando game would be the best thing they could have done. I agree, Casual Gamer. Steal Boba Fett's jetpack in a mission and get to keep it. Like, again, and also knowing, and I still need to do everything in Outlaws, but also knowing that I will only use my blaster all the time, and there is nothing, like, in... I want to be surprised knowing that, okay, maybe Kay will become this character, will go crazy, or will find some cool things. But knowing that all we had was our blaster and we could go to the workbench and kind of tweak it there. Every weapon you find, you can only use for that encounter, and then you leave it. Like, that also hurt the exploration a bit, because going out and going into this cave to find a blaster, like a sort of extra module for my blaster, is not exciting enough. And then doing this insane, or like finding somewhere else, going somewhere else, or doing this mission and getting a paint job for my speeder. I'm like, why am I doing? I just don't get why they did not figure that out, because you can do so many cool things with this universe, and then all the rewards you're getting are trinkets for your speeder, I don't know, like a paint job for your ship. Sure, that's cool that that's there, but that should not be the main reward for all these activities. Okay, I think steel speeders would have been awesome, but there were some rumors maybe that Disney was like, yeah, we want to make an Outlaws. You can make an Outlaws game, but it can't be GTA. Like, you can't go crazy. Well, that is what people would have wanted. So I do think it's not all on Ubisoft for making these creative decisions. It's probably them working with Disney as well to figure out what was possible. But I think that's why Ubisoft is like, We made Avatar, we made Star Wars Outlaws, they both did not do well. We are out, we're making our own projects, we're going back to Division, we're making our own projects again, because then we don't have to be on the phone or wait for feedback from Lucasfilm or LucasArts for the decisions that we're making, and yeah, then we can move forward way quicker and actually make the game that we think people want to play. Okay. Thanks everyone for your input. I'm really curious to see what they will do with Outlaws, and we will of course focus on it here. We are totally planning to do like a big, planning to do coverage on the game around that re-release, and I really hope that the changes they're kind of teasing here are what we want.